What's up, everyone? You are listening to the Rival and Queen podcast. Happy Thursday. We're back again.
I am Sarah.
She's Sarah.
This is Ashley.
This is me.
Which we just now made this confusing for people. Do you want to say your name again?
No, I don't.
Okay, whatever.
Here I am.
Just pick it up.
Ashley Kilbertowski. One half of Rival and Queen.
Could you imagine if I just made up a different last name? If I said like Sarah Sampson or like Sarah Boudreau. I'm just picking. I'm not great at like recall or coming up with names.
I want to know where you're going with this.
No, I just think it'd be funny if I just started lying.
Okay, we could have maybe alter ego names.
Oh, that's kind of fun. Oh, maybe. A stage name.
What would yours be?
We've never talked about this before. If I had a stage name, no, do you know what? Actually, one of Mark's friends asked me the other day what last name I would want if I could pick any one as a different one. And I was like, I've never thought of this.
No.
I was like, I have no idea.
That's weird. Maybe if you were really in love with someone like Sarah Rhett, if you were single, you know,
but not but outside of the marriage context, it was like, just imagine if you like pick any other last name you want. What would be a really cool one? I don't know. I think last names with like X's in it are funny.
Yeah, like something short and sharp. Mine's so long.
Yeah.
Like when I think about if I ever had a child and I named it, couldn't have a really complex first name.
What if you named it like Lexington Kilbertowski? Could you imagine how many letters are in that?
Oh, too many. Well, there's 13 in Kilbertowski.
Oh my God. Okay, so but what would your alter ego name be? Maybe I'll come up with one based off you.
I don't know. I like the Kardashians. Okay. You're gonna hear more about that later at a later time. But I love the name Stormy. But what's
I like that too.
What's the Stormy Scott? I think that is such a badass name.
Oh, that's cute. Dad used to make fun of me. I used to love the name Storm.
No, Kendall Jenner.
Growing up.
Her daughter.
You mean Kylie?
Wow.
Who am I? The Kardashian expert? Who are you?
Oh man.
This is really a show of alter egos. We're like,
my mind is.
You're pretending you know nothing about the Kardashians, and I'm the one coming in with the fact checking.
No, thank you. I just like to test you to see how much you know, and you know more than.
Listen, I know who they are. I know their names. I know whose kids belong to which.
Mm-hmm.
I have some idea about some people they've dated, maybe.
Like the Lord Disick.
Lord Disick. He was.
Disick's a nice last name.
Yeah. Would you pick that one?
Ashley Disick. No, that sounds terrible.
It's not bad.
Sometimes
like
I want to revert
Dexter.
to my maiden name, though I wouldn't. I just feel like Ashley Sampson is just, I don't know.
A strong name.
Just feels like me.
Okay.
A big piece of me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Like if you weren't Sarah Murphy, you'd be like, oh, Sarah Murphy. I love that name. I don't know. I think other people can probably.
Yeah.
Guys don't have to give up their names. So.
I like you though. I really like my last name. I wouldn't change it to one I didn't like. Like there's no chance I'm becoming Sarah McDonald. No offense to McDonald's out there, but there's just like a dime a dozen. I mean, there's already a lot of Sarah Murphys, but there's even more Sarah McDonalds.
Okay, so you need to have a less common name.
I'm with you. I don't mind if they're long. I just like yeah. Strong sounding.
It could be like Sarah. I don't know. I don't want to say someone's last name.
Okay, enough of this. If you have any ideas for alter ego names for us, please tell us, because evidently the creative juices in that respect are not flowing. I could just be like rainbows and stardust or something. That's what Dad always like makes fun of me. It's like, you're gonna have a
stardust.
Yeah. He's like, you're gonna have a child named like Rainbow Sunshine or something.
I don't think you would ever do that. Though
no, I wouldn't, but he teases me.
You're all about the sparkles and the high vibes, as you say, but I don't think that you would take that to someone's name.
I don't know. We'll wait till I have a child and it'll be named Stardust Moonchild. Oh, you're right. I won't ever do that. Oh my God. Okay. Ashley, you actually put out a fun little post on Instagram today that I think we should go through because it just was like funny. You put out an Ask Us Anything post and we got some funny questions on it.
I know. Sarah and I were just going through some of the questions because we obviously interview people. We're putting the questions out into the world. It's like, I wonder if people have questions for us. And they did.
Evidently. And some of them are very hard hitting.
Some of them are. So one of the, should I say the handles?
Mhm,
Okay, so that's the
mhm.
first question. So one of them is a Pens Wags, which is, I think,
Stands for wives and girlfriends.
yeah, like there's a show. I don't know. Not on, anyways, not on your radar. Will Sidney Crosby be on your podcast one day? If not, maybe his girlfriend.
I'm gonna answer. Well, you answered this.
Well, I did answer them and said, sure, that would be awesome.
My answer is going to be yes, because like all things you guys know, Ash and I like to put things out to the universe that we want to see happen. So we're saying yes, obviously.
I think you should read the next one.
The next one. Okay. And this one is from Insta WC. Was Stephen Dixon's hair as beautiful in person as you thought it was going to be? And
very long.
I think the answer is yes. It's better than we expected. He's got great hair. I don't know if he's gotten it cut in a very long time, but it's in great condition.
It's very thick. Yeah.
It's thick, it's long, it's great, it's shiny. Dixon, you have great hair. You know, it exceeded our expectations.
Okay, Spread Therapy wants to know, how did we meet? Which we get asked all the time, but we met at work.
We did meet at work. One day I showed up and Ashley was there and our eyes connected.
And we said, let's start a podcast.
we're meant for each other. That sounds so romantic, but we did meet at work.
So my cousin Amanda asked, what's one thing that you've taken away from your conversations on a podcast that has impacted you? Which is a very heavy hitting question. So many things, but I answered on behalf of both of us. But what I said was our conversation with Verena Riz. And just the impact, kind of the 4 agreements. It's come up more. You gifted it to me. I feel like that's something that, I don't know.
The 4 agreements was a very good one from Verena. That conversation, and we've had her back twice. So like, obviously we love that conversation. She's fabulous. I think that fundamentally changed our life. That's a good one that you remembered it. Another one I really liked, and I don't know as much of this came out in the episode with Natasha Goyle, but on our phone call, like she changed her life. Like she had a store in Toronto and then moved to Halifax because she fell in love. And then she reinvented her business. And one of the things she talked about when we chatted with her was like, people are afraid to change and to change their career and to change what they're doing, but like you're allowed to. And you should, especially if you want to change your life. So I like that too. And it's just always such a good reminder when you're talking to these people, like there's inspiration to it.
There's so much inspiration and a lot of, that's a common thread between a lot of our guests is if they've started a business or a new career path, that they did have to take that big leap of faith. And it's nice for us to hear that over and over again, because these people are doing incredible things and they wouldn't have got there if they didn't, like change gears.
No, and they inspire us, which is, we love that.
Do you want to read the last one from our recent guest? Natalie
Vance, your Tour de Soul. How much time do you devote to your podcast each week? And do you find your talents in conversation have evolved a lot since you started? So first one, I'm going to say probably between like 10 to 12 hours, if not more, to our podcast every week. Only because, it depends. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But I think on average, just to put out an episode, there's probably like 8 hours of work behind it, including the interview, prep, post-production, posting about it, like through social media, promoting it, stuff like that. So I didn't say that much. How much did you say? Well, I kind of broke it down and said, well, depending, we either record Sundays or Mondays. And that's about an hour in recording. There's an extra hour of prep. It's about a 2-hour affair. I was gonna say, I'm like, to record. I'm like, we're not showing up here and like, no. But usually, so it depends too, if we've had a call with that person, that really gives us a lot of insight into what we're going to cover and kind of curates the questions for us. So it kind of depends on a weekly basis, but and then and I gave you credit. I said Sarah's the queen. She does all the kind of consolidating everything that the episode needs in order to go live and getting that up on YouTube, which is obviously takes time. Yeah. And then we got Mark and B&B Media, who make us sound smooth and good. So smooth. So deep. And so that is a big lift off kind of what we can accomplish in a week too. Yeah. Then there's social media posting and so no, it doesn't feel like work though. It doesn't feel like work, but I'm gonna tell you, it is like at least 10 to 12 hours every week. But we love it. And there's other fun stuff that we do that, like, you know, we're happy. I do think our conversation, our talents have evolved naturally. It's like practicing.
Yeah, I didn't answer the second half of that question, but I like that. I think, yeah, it's such a good question. I think that we know our voices a bit differently now and kind of how, I don't know,
What we like to talk about.
Yeah. And I don't think we put too much pressure on just asking questions and try and make it more of a conversation.
Yeah. And we play off each other. And, you know, sometimes we're in moods and it's life, you know, it's all fun and
100%.
games. So that was for fun questions. That was a little surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
I know. So fun.
Anyways, we love it. We have a very special episode. I mean, I say this every single week. Maybe that part of
a bit of a different special episode.
It's a unique episode for us. I think this is the first two-person double interview episode we did.
Compilation.
A compilation episode. There we go. Here's a word. We like this. We've got, this episode is with two women entrepreneurs that we love. We love their businesses, and it's really just to get to know them, the businesses they've created, and really why they've done it, and kind of the creative outlet it gave them.
Yeah, they have such individual energy and different offerings, but have kind of, they're both mothers. They've had different career paths before. So it's really interesting, like you were just saying, when people kind of shift gears and do something that they're more passionate about.
Yeah, and just how they found their way. So we've got Meg Cole from Rise Up, Shine Bright, and she has just got the loveliest energy. And that's what her business is basically bringing that high vibe energy that we sometimes experience when we're at our best selves into our everyday life, and reminding us to do that. And
with lots of colors. She's the tie-dye queen. And we also have Rebekah Streeter, who is the founder of Voda Retreats. And that's really about treating yourself, showing yourself self-love, and gifting that to other people. And she curates those experiences so that everyone can kind of do something that, you know, whether it's a divorce party she talked about, or something with your daughter, or just a night with your friends, she can create that unique experience for you.
The adult treat bags. And I'm going to pretend that I came up with that, but I didn't. That term is copyrighted by Ashley Sampson.
Yeah.
Nay Sampson, Ashley Kilbertowski, Ashley Stardust, as she's also known.
But it is so nice to see them both have such a passion for what they do. And I feel like they're both so successful because it really is something that brings them so much joy.
And we always love talking to entrepreneurs, as you know, and it's kind of just, it's nice to hear people's stories. And even in a lighter way, it's great to connect with the people behind the businesses. I always feel, it just makes me want to work with people more when I know a little bit about the entrepreneurs behind the bricks and mortar, or the products, or the store, like, you know, the whole thing.
And that's what we're here for, a Rival and Queen.
Rival, now you know more about us too.
Exactly.
Wow, this is really a full circle introduction.
But if you want to learn more about Rebekah and Voda Retreats, you can go to vodaretreats.com and follow her on social media at Voda Retreats.
And with Meg, you can connect with her on Instagram at riseup.shinebright or at riseupshinebright.ca, and find lots of very cool and colorful tie-dye gear there, along with other goodies. But we're huge fans of the tie-dye gear. We have to get her to teach us still.
Yes.
All right, everyone, have a great time listening.
We are so excited to have Meg Cole joining us, who I honestly want to say, if you're watching the video, you'll see that she is very colorful. Her hair is even purple, but I feel like you are the tie-dye queen. And that's actually how Sarah and I found you a year or so ago, because I saw your purple tie-dye shirts, and I didn't even know you were in Dartmouth, to be honest. So it was really fun to connect with you just through Instagram, and we've built like a nice community friendship from afar. So we're so excited to learn more about you.
I'm so pumped to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
We are big fans. And funny enough, you won our last giveaway we did, which was like an awesome, we were so stoked. We were like
the ultimate giveaway
that kept on giving.
There's nothing better than when someone, because we've done a few giveaways and people we don't know, which is awesome too, but we don't typically kind of know someone. So it was so nice to see you enjoy and like be rewarded with such a great gift. Like everything was awesome. And so
amazing.
I feel like perfect for you.
Yeah. It totally like aligns with my brand, that whole self-care amazing giveaway.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah.
So Meg, we're so excited to learn, like, you're a nurse by day, but also the creator behind Rise Up Shine Bright. Could you like tell us a little bit about Rise Up Shine Bright?
Sure. Yeah. So it was never really like part of my plan to have this business. So I am a nurse and I've been doing that for about, I think it was 14 years this year. And I went into that profession because I really like helping people, but I didn't love a lot of other things about the profession, like the shift work and just how much I had to work. Like once I got into it a few years in, I was like, I'm exhausted. And I'm like 20 something years old. Like, how am I going to do this for 25 years? So I started looking for a way to like supplement my income so I wouldn't have to work full-time shift work forever, basically. And that started with a network marketing company. And I was in that for a little while. And I got introduced to personal growth and development at that time. And this really like was not a part of my life before. Like I kind of thought it was all, I don't know. Like I guess I thought I didn't need it, but that was probably a sign that I really did need it in my life. Um, and I fell in love with that part of the business and like the community and just all this like love that was fed into me and this like support and just really feeling good. And this whole new version of myself really like blossomed. I was much more positive and outgoing, and the vision for my life changed. And I kind of like, I fell out of love with the business, but I really loved that personal growth and development. And I love seeing what it was doing for other people. So that's how Rise Up Shine Bright started. I was like, I'm going to bring together a group of women and have an event and introduce them to these amazing women that have had such an influence on my life, you know, with like mindset and yoga and all these different things, like really self-care, self-love. And that event went so well. So that was 2 years ago, I think in April. And while we were at the event, again, Rise Up Shine Bright still wasn't really like a plan. Everyone was like, when are you doing another event? And I was like, what? Later this year, I guess. So I decided to plan another event for 6 months down the road. And while I was planning that, I was like, these events are amazing, but I really wanted something to remind people of how you feel when you're at an event. You know, you're like feeling so good
Yes.
when you're there. I wanted a way to like carry that message along. So that's why I started the apparel. And that's when I came up with the name Rise Up Shine Bright, just as like that reminder for people to like step into that version of themselves, continue to work on themselves, go for what you want. And with that event and with the apparel, then it all kind of like snowballed into this business that we have today. And yeah, I'm still a nurse and I love that, but I work casual now, which is amazing. So I have a little bit of that and a little bit of this. It's great.
Oh, I love that. It's so nice. Even as someone else there and I talked to recently, the same thing. It's like they have this creative outlet now. It's
Yeah.
part of their career and just something that really gives them more joy. And I think the flexibility, especially your mom, to have that is probably so rewarding to be able to kind of create your own schedule and your own boundaries around work.
Yes, absolutely. It's a huge perk of it.
Also, I love what you said about carrying that like conference energy into more of life, because I feel like everyone can resonate with that. We've all been at like an event that we resonate with, and there's just so much energy because you're sharing it with all these other people. And it's, yeah, like how you bottle that and take that back into your life. That's amazing.
Yeah, because we forget, right? Like we go home and then we're wrapped up into our life again. So I kind of wanted to be like, you know, that starts to happen, but then you see that shirt and you're like, oh yeah. And I felt really great that day. And what was I doing to make myself feel good? So then you continue to do those things and just mix it into your life every day instead of just that one time a year or however often you go to an event.
When did the tie-dye kind of concept come into the apparel? Because that was really and still is pretty front and center, right?
Yeah, totally. It's such a huge trend and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. Like even in the stores right now, everything is like tie-dyed and bleached out, and I love it. When did I think it was last spring. So a friend of mine at work was like, you should bleach some stuff, like throw some bleach on it. And I was like, really? Like, are you sure? I was really nervous to do it. And then I was like, whatever, if I ruin a sweater. And then I did it and I loved it. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could even like try tie-dye. And yeah, totally fell in love with it. It's so fun. Every piece is so unique, and you totally nailed it when you said it's like a creative outlet. And I'm all about fun. That's why I love using color, because it really energizes me and makes me want to have more fun. So I feel like tie-dye is just like instantly adds fun to your wardrobe.
We love the tie-dye. And thanks for gifting us those lovely. We got some of the bleach t-shirts,
Yeah.
matching t-shirts, Sarah and I, which we wear
course.
often.
I know. I love them.
It's
They're
cute.
so soft.
I'd be
Ours
so
look-
scared to
Yeah.
do that though.
I know, right? I was like, I'm going to ruin it. But that's the cool thing, especially with tie-dye, is like, you can't really mess it up. Like it always turns out pretty cool. And if it does get messed up, you could just like throw some more color on it. Like I've dyed this shirt many times.
You need to teach us, because someone sent Sarah and I like a PR kit. It was an alcohol brand, but it actually
I saw
came
that.
with a tie-dye, and we haven't done it yet, but I feel like we need the queen to teach us.
Totally. I did a workshop once and it was so much fun, because I like did some self-development stuff, but then I also showed people how to tie-dye stuff. We could totally do one of those sometime.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I
Really
love
fun.
that. This is kind of just a random question that popped in my head off of what you were saying. And I know this resonates for Ash and I, but can you talk a little bit about how Rise Up and Shine Bright is kind of just like an extension of yourself? Because I see that in you through Instagram. Like, you are super positive. You are working on like your self-growth. You're sharing, like it's such an authentic message for you. Like, how do you just love having that as part of your work now?
Yeah, like honestly, I became so obsessed with how I felt once I started like working on my mind and just like being more present and going inward. Like it made such a difference on not only how I felt, but all the people around me too, that people started asking like, why are you always so positive? Why are you so happy? Like, and I found that, just by sharing little bits of inspiration or little tricks and tips and stuff, like then I started seeing other people do it, and then they would say things to me like, wow, you really helped me. I was like, really? Like that wasn't like my plan, but it really had an impact on other people. So like I got really obsessed with that feeling of like helping other people in this cool, inspiring, fun way. And I'm also like, I just have no time for living as that old version of myself. So like knowing how good I can feel, it just feels natural to be this person and live this brand basically.
Are you still surprised kind of by, it sounded like it really organically started to snowball with the community that you built. And then obviously the apparel, there's a whole, business aspect to it. But are you surprised by the success and kind of how things have really caught on, especially here locally and people from afar? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I actually almost didn't launch it because I was terrified of what people would think of it. Like I was like, Rise Up, Shine Bright, like sounds kind of stupid, really. But it doesn't, especially when you explain like the meaning. It is catchy, but you know how we are when you start something new, you get all in your head. And I'm like, I should say, like, I'm not always on top of the world and, feeling amazing and inspiring, whatever. We're humans. What was I going to say that? I totally just lost my train of thought when I said that. Yes, surprised. So it really took off. And it just made me realize even more like how much people need this, right?
It's so crazy. I'm sorry, Sarah, but when you do, I think a lot of people can relate when you actually do go outside of your comfort zone and do something, whether it's even just starting a creative Instagram account or a blog, and you're so terrified, but as soon as you do it, you realize how many people are actually enjoying it and get a lot of use from it. So I feel like a lot of people do hold themselves back, but that's kind of what Sarah and I try and put out there too, is like to take these steps in directions that you're drawn to or interested in, because you will not regret it. You will regret not doing it, but definitely will not regret.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when we get in that place of like, what are people going to think, or we're afraid and holding ourselves back, is like, we're really just thinking about ourselves and our own feelings. Right. But if you think about how you're going to help people and the impact that it could have, and you do it for somebody else, it makes it a lot easier.
Even just for the curiosity of what's going to come. I love this, like what you're saying too, Ash, because the second you put it out there, you're suddenly a new person. You know what I mean? You've now faced that fear, and you're already like have moved forward and grown just by doing that. And it is such a rewarding experience. And you don't have to think about the outcome. You don't have to think about what it becomes or the next thing. Just like that exercise of taking the leap is such a empowering like growth opportunity, I think.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so much excitement goes with that. And I feel like why not
Yes.
live with some joy and excitement?
Yeah, absolutely.
Meg,
I also
Oh, yeah,
need to
you go.
say, sorry, no, I just need to say that you and Sarah Kelly as well, who's a friend of all of ours, were the first person that I saw putting out these really fun and hilarious reels. When Instagram reels were just launching, I was like, what are they doing? I didn't understand it, but it was lots of little positive messages and the bubbles and the words. And yeah, like you said, you are a very positive person and like to uplift others. And I can definitely even get that from your dancing vibes and all your things that you put out on social media. It's so nice to see.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And actually, Sarah totally inspired me with those two.
Oh, she's so good.
So good.
Meg, do you like, as a nurse, are you still connecting with this idea of you being an entrepreneur as well? I'm always like fascinated by.
I don't know. You know what? To be honest, like I really don't know. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of my time like trying to figure it out and like trying to plan and like what is
Right.
it going to look like, and I have to decide. And just recently, I think I told you guys that I'm taking some breathwork facilitation training right now, and I'm feeling like a shift and like this transition, and just like really practicing being present and
Mhm.
letting go and like surrendering to this plan that I know everything is happening as it should, and just trying not to like make up my mind and decide like
Mhm.
has to be this or it has to be that. Like it can be this really beautiful flowy journey. And so yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question or not, but I felt like last year I was like, I'm going to retire nursing, it's going to be done by this day, and like I felt like I was like letting myself down, and there was all this pressure, and it just wasn't working that way.
I actually love that answer even more because it goes back to like kind of letting go of the identities and the boxes we put ourselves in. I think, especially as you're like blending different careers, and it's freeing to just like take away the identity. So thank you for that answer.
You're
Yeah, that's
welcome.
a great, very honest and great answer. Meg, what has really been is there anything that's like stood out as the most surprising thing that has happened to you or you've experienced on this journey of Rise Up, Shine Bright?
Well, we kind of already touched on one, which is the fact that it like took off, this idea that I thought was kind of like a little bit dumb in the beginning. Like, are people actually going to want to participate in this? That was a surprise in the beginning, but kind of thinking about just like reflecting on it all, probably like the ups and downs of it. Like I think I probably thought it was going to be more like sunshines and rainbows, and realizing that, you know, this is all like on me. Like I'm the one making all of the decisions, and sometimes that's tough. So when I'm not taking good care of myself, and you know, when I don't have a coach, I'm not tapped into my community, I can really get in my head and wonder, you know, are things worth it and whatnot. But then I'm always reminded of my why I'm here, why I'm doing this. So, and like having that support of my community and getting all that feedback and stuff, and realizing that's totally normal to be up and down all the time. And yeah, just like adjusting to this roller coaster. And yeah, it's just part of the journey. But I would say I was surprised, especially because like in the beginning it was like, and like everything felt easy and fun or whatever. But then when you like get really into it, you're like, oh, it's like all this other stuff I got to do.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
I think
That's
a lot
really
of people
good
can relate to that. Like Sarah and I certainly can. And it is, getting going is fun and the idea of it's fun, but then actually running a business and keeping it going it's a lot of work. So well, kudos to you. We're happy that you've embarked on this journey.
And I love that advice of reconnecting to your why. That's always like such a good reminder. Meg, one of the things that we really want to do with you is play a round of Queenie Grams.
Yes.
Before we wrap.
Awesome.
So super easy. All you do is pick a number between 1 and 115, and we're going to ask you a question, and we'll all kind of chime in.
Okay. I'll go with 115.
Ooh. Okay. I love this question. If you had a word tattooed on your forehead, what would it say?
Just one word, or can it be like a phrase?
you know what? You can do whatever you
Whatever.
want.
But if you had to have something like everyone would see all the
Every
time
day.
and yourself, obviously.
Yeah. I think it would be here now. That's like my mantra right now. I'm actually considering getting it tattooed right here. It's like the background on my phone. There's this really lovely song called Be Here Now that I listen to all the time. And it's just like, it's my jam. It's just like focusing right now, being present. Yeah. And then
like
everyone else would
center.
see that and think of it.
Remind themselves that they should be
Yes.
there now. That's a great one. Wow.
Yeah, I love that one. Ash, what would you get?
Rival and Queen podcast. I was just thinking, how can I advertise?
Yeah. Selfless
For
promotion.
free.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's like the best guerrilla marketing. Just get people to get
Totally.
tattooed. Like we could get stick-on ones there. And just
We
put them on
should
our
get
foreheads.
stick-on ones and wear them on weekend. Ooh,
Yeah.
do you want to do that? Could be fun.
We would stand out.
Smart.
Maybe for
Good
like,
business move.
Sarah,
Yeah.
what would you put on yours?
well, it's so funny because Meg said be here now. I was thinking of actually having like be present, not tattooed on my forehead, but just like I think about that sometimes if I'm like rushing and overwhelmed like I am right now in the midst of moving. I like write it on my hand sometimes to be like, it's all good. But then I also just think it'd be really funny to put something stupid
Like YOLO across your forehead.
yeah, like just because I feel like it would remind people to be like, you can't be more embarrassing than this.
Yeah.
Like, so like have the freedom to do whatever you want. There we
Meg's
go.
got the yellow hat on. I love it so much.
Oh my God. It doesn't fit.
So
It might just be
fun.
like, I have a forehead tattoo. Do whatever you want. Nothing can be worse than this.
Yeah. Or like I'm with
There we
stupid
go.
and an arrow, and whoever's on the left side of you at all times is that person.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love the YOLO hat.
Yes.
This is amazing.
So
Also
fun.
on brand for you guys.
The
Yeah.
purple. Love it so much.
This is amazing. Meg, before we wrap, where can people find you?
So yeah, Instagram is definitely where I hang out the most, riseup.shinebright. And then I also have a website, riseupshinebright.ca. And yeah, we're on Facebook, but really the gram is where I mostly connect with people.
Amazing.
So fun. Thank you so much for telling us more about your journey. And I'm going to take you up on the tie-dye sessions there. We should do like a reel or Instagram live. How to tie dye with Rise Up, Shine Bright and Rival and Queen.
Yep. Let's do it. It'll be so fun. Have some
We'll hit up
drinks and
Valley
make it
Village and get
happen.
some goods to tie dye.
Yeah. I can give you guys some Rise Up Shine Bright swag to do.
Yes. I mean, maybe we need to practice one or two, but I did just before we go. I have the same color sweater that Sarah has on right now from Aritzia. And somehow I've only worn it once and there's bleach all over the back of it. So I was like debating, do I now like tie dye it with bleach?
I think you're all in on it. I think
You're
that's
gonna
a
bleach
great
dye.
idea.
Yeah.
If Meg helps me, I'll trust her.
Yes. It's so easy and fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing. Thanks, Meg.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Meg.
guys.
Okay, so Sarah and I are super stoked to have Rebekah here joining us. Some of our Instagram followers and followers on social media may have seen us at a beautiful hotel here in Halifax called the Sutton Hotel with thanks to you, Rebekah, for putting us up. So we're so excited for you to tell us more about the experiences that you create for women and men and tell us more about how this started. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here today.
Yeah, we are big fans of Voda Retreats and super stoked to have connected with you and grateful still for the retreats that you gave to Ashley and I. So thank you, Rebekah. And yeah, it was a great connection. And we just like felt
so luxurious.
Yeah, so luxurious. We love being pampered. Who doesn't love being pampered?
Who doesn't?
So can you tell us a little, like in kind of a nutshell, what is Voda Retreats?
So Voda Retreats is a place for people to come, to learn about how to create their own self-care routines and pamper themselves at home, on vacation, on staycation, wherever they are. It's a place where you can send a retreat to somebody else. You can do birthday gifts, wedding gifts, divorce gifts even. I've had people buy presents for that for me. And B, it's a place where I want to help teach women especially, but absolutely men as well, how to heal from burnout and how to create a life that is more enjoyable, where you are enjoying the little moments of joy and connection. You'll see a lot more about that on my Instagram over the next month.
Yeah, we love the idea of self-care. And I think why we really connected when we first met you is because it seems like such a passion of yours to create, like, to give other people experiences. Like, you want people to be happy. And you talk about that quite a bit.
I do. That's one of the things that brings me joy in life, is to find the perfect present for somebody, or to help them, have the perfect birthday party or date with their friend. And it became even more so after I went through a period in my life where I wasn't finding joy in anything. And I spent about 2 to 3 years really researching how I could make my life better. And I was like, oh, you know what? Really looking at those small moments of joy and preparing for what is and what will be, and working on yourself. These small little habits are the things that changed my life the most, not doing these grand big gestures. And why can't everybody do that? And I want everybody to be, happy and find these moments of joy. And it's always a work in progress, but I just want to spread the love to everybody.
But you're here to help people if they want a moment of joy.
Exactly. I want to create all the moments of joy.
It's such a good way for you to put everything together and just give it to someone, because often, like you mentioned, it could be bachelorettes or different birthday parties and things, but it's really nice just to have someone curate that for specific events, or just like Sarah and I did it here in my apartment one night. We had a little experience of stuff you sent us, and then at the hotel. And it's just nice that you don't have to put the time into going out and buying these things or buying multiple of them for your friends. It just shows up, and then you guys can it's like a surprise too, and enjoy it together, like an adult treat bag.
Yes. That is such a good way to say that, Ash. An adult treat bag. Yes.
Yeah, like everything Sarah and I opened at the Sutton place. We're like, oh, look at this. Did you get one of these? Look at that. It was so fun.
Well, it somewhat comes from my experience of traveling, and I love to travel and try out different hotels, big, small, and I always go into the room and see, okay, what amenities, what can I do here? What do they got? Open all the drawers, see everything. And I was like, well, it'd be fun to be able to experience that at home once in a while, or to create that with your friends. And I used to do it when me and my friends would go to the cottage. I would always prepare some kind of experience for us to do, whether it was face masks or games or affirmations, or we'd sit down and write anonymous things about each other that we love to help and inspire each other. And, it's always something that has brought me joy.
Oh, it's such a creative business idea too, is to package up different things that create fun experiences. Like, that's what I love about it. Is it just like, I love the treat bag expression, Ashley. I think that's like,
I do too.
You've nailed it.
And it's so interesting too to think about. I think, Sarah, you're really good at, I think we talked about this before, but Sarah always brings a game or some type of funny surprise, or just like all these little things that I wouldn't necessarily think about. But now I do think about that when I'm like, oh, I need to bring a little something, because whenever anyone does that, it just makes it feel more special and feel more, I don't know. And I can't even think of the word. Like, you get intimate in different ways too. And I think the game that you have, Rebekah, I think, is that in the Love and Connection package? Yeah. Sarah and I did that, and we know pretty much most things about each other, but even doing that, it was such a nice little time. And as you get older, reflecting on things and having those conversations with your friends, I feel like is so meaningful and touching. I don't know.
I'm with you. The 21 questions. Yeah. It's just like, sometimes you need a reason, or like, you don't need a reason, but you don't do it. And then so to carve out meaningful and purposeful time to like connect with each other is really cool.
And that is the whole idea behind that box. You could have done that with yourself. You could have just asked yourself those questions and reflected on it. You could have asked a partner, a husband, a boyfriend, or your best friends, and it works with anybody, to create that connection between everybody in your life, because really, I mean, especially after the pandemic, I mean, connection is everything. So why not try to foster that?
Can you give us a few pieces of advice, maybe to other women that are wanting to, start their own business or do something kind of creative? Because this is such a creative outlet for you, but obviously it's your business. So any advice to moms out there or dads?
Just, well, you can do it. Yes, you have to schedule the time and you have to find that balance, but it is possible. I've gone from working literally 24/7 when I ran a bed and breakfast and not having time, the time that I wanted to spend with my child, to now I can pick her up from school every day and do things with her during the week when she's with me, and take, in the summer, take the morning off and go to the beach if we want to and still be able to work. And it's a balancing game. But I think it was on Dr. Ashley Murchison's podcast that somebody was talking about glass balls and plastic balls, and knowing what are your glass balls that you absolutely cannot drop, and what are your plastic balls that you can drop. And if you drop them, it's not a big deal, and they're going to change every once in a while. But if you're constantly thinking about, okay, what can I let go and what can I drop and what can't I, then it's a lot easier to focus and figure that stuff out. Yeah. But most of all, just do it. Don't be afraid. Just do it.
We're all about going after the things that make you feel happy. And I know Sarah's a big believer in that too, having the flexibility to kind of to do what you want and not be conformed to certain things.
Especially now in this day and age, I feel like anything is possible. I mean, we've all made it through. So if you made it through the past year, you can start your own business and get to be creative and have the life you want. So awesome. I'm all for it.
So Rebekah, if people want to learn more about, buying an experience or doing an event or something with you, where can they connect with you and how do they do that?
So they can connect with me on Instagram at Voda Retreats, same handle on Facebook, or you can find me on my website, just vodaretreats.com, and you can email me from there. I'm pretty much always connected somehow, so I'll respond to any DM and get super excited about curating like a special retreat or gift for anybody. And usually the process for me is I ask people to give me a budget if they want to create something, and then I will put something together and send some pictures, and then we can discuss from there, who it's for, what it's for, and then they kind of get to be part of the process as well.
Oh, I think that's so fun. It's just you're sharing your gift of creating thoughtful experiences and can make it easy for others. And it's just nice to see these kind of creative businesses come to life and how people are sharing their gifts. And we love seeing that, like different ways that people share their abilities and kind of fun ways that they bring into their career.
Yeah, I've seen so much. Like so many businesses, and I'm like, yay, so many like new amazing businesses starting here in Halifax, which is amazing.
Yes,
totally.
We love that.
So before we wrap, Rebekah, we want to play a game of Queeniegrams. Super easy. All you have to do is pick a number between 1 and 115, and we'll ask you a question.
Okay, I have thought about this when I'm listening to your podcast. I think I'm going to go with 37.
37. Let's see. Do you know what that question is?
No, I don't.
Oh, this is great.
I like odd numbers and sevens. So
when you're home alone, is there a song that makes you want to dance like Tom Cruise in Risky Business?
Ooh, too many.
I feel like
there's too many. Right now, I am super into Butter by BTS. I've got a whole playlist of just dance songs.
Amazing.
I mean, anything. I was a 90s kid, so Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, you put on any of that, and I can still do all the dances from the videos. Back when we had to like record them and watch them over and over again, like rewind and learn all the dances.
So fun.
So yeah, I can't even name just one. You just put music on and I'm gonna dance.
We love that. Ash, what are you jamming to these days?
Do you know what I've actually thought about this too, because I've been working out more at home and I've been loving Rihanna. Anything Rihanna, I go on my YouTube music and just play Rihanna. And I'm like, man, she had some good songs and dance music. So
She's getting a lot of pressure for not having put out music in 5 years.
I was talking about this with Sarah Arbuckle the other day because she had it on at the salon. And I was like, man, where the hell has Riri been?
She's just taking a break, I think.
Well, you know what? When she comes back, it's going to be good. We'll hit the dance floor together, everyone, when we can.
I love that.
What about you, Sarah?
I actually just pulled up my phone because I always love seeing what's like, it changes from week to week. But I've been really still enjoying, actually, weirdly enough, so weirdly, I'm kind of embarrassed about this, is like I've been enjoying the Little Mermaid song.
Yes, I love musicals.
I don't know why. It came on someone's Instagram story and I was like Under the Sea, but but like an orchestra version where it's just like the sound, and I love it.
I would love to see you dancing like Tom, like just dancing to Under the Sea instrumental. I can't wait. I'm going to make a video of it.
It makes
perfect
me
for the mermaid moment. You
because-
can dance in it.
Yeah. But it also makes me happy because if I'm stressed, it's just like so lighthearted. So I'm like, okay, everything's okay in the world.
I love that for you, Sarah.
Thank you. I love this.
You got like mermaid vibes anyway with the hair. So good.
We're coming into summer. I love this. Rebekah, it's been so nice to have you on. We're so grateful to be able to, we're so grateful we've connected with you, but it's nice to be able to have you on and kind of learn more about you.
Thank you so much. It was a joy.
Thanks, Rebekah.